Oi, tudo bem? Meu nome é Mark.
Hello, I hope you're well. My name is Mark. I'm the director of Crescimento Limpo. We are making this video to keep you updated with how we are adapting to the reality of the coronavirus that has spread around the world. Crescimento Limpo runs a house that receives up to 25 residents. We receive men, women, families, people from Brazil and from beyond that need support to restructure as they come out of homelessness. Many people come from rehab clinics, others come from hospitals, and we also receive international refugees. In this time, considering the coronavirus, everything changes. Many residents have lost their jobs, businesses have had to shut down. We have a cafe that we use to employ residents, which, of course, has now closed. And even though our house is well equipped to receive up to 25 residents, this is a time when it is not good for any single house to group 25 residents. So I'd like to bring you in this video and explain how we are adapting. We, just like any NGO, rely on support from our community because our expenses don't stop, and in fact they increase during this time. But we also know that some of our supporters have lost their sources of income, and the needs of other NGOs have also gone up. So it's a hard time for all of us, but we ask for your continued awareness, and if God has preserved your ability to support, then please know the importance of this time to receive your support. I'd like to bring you into the house and explain how we operate.
Bom, meu nome é Michel. Hoje estou ganhando um apoio muito importante para a minha vida. Estou tendo uma reintegração social e estamos numa fase de quarentena. Estamos tomando todas as precauções necessárias de higienização, de ao falar, de 1 metro de distância. E a CL é uma casa que me apoiou, está me apoiando faz 1 mês e 7 dias que eu se encontro nela, pela honra e misericórdia de Deus, e vou fazer o máximo para retribuir esse apoio que eu estou ganhando da Casa CL.
Boa tarde, meu nome é Silvio, estou aqui no Crescimento Limpo há 8 meses, venho de uma casa de recuperação. Hoje, com 8 meses aqui, já tenho meu trabalho, estou fazendo meu curso profissionalizante em expectativa de uma vida melhor lá fora. E, em outras palavras, esse está sendo o meu crescimento limpo.
Essa casa é muito bem.
This house is very well equipped to receive, with so many rooms, a big kitchen, a big room for our meetings. But now, given the moment that we face, we needed to undergo a time of deconcentration. And as God would have it, we had started a focus on providing rental housing for our residents who had progressed into independence from Crescimento Limpo. And so we had the opportunity to revert these houses that we had intended to rent as a means of accompanying our ex-residents into supplemental housing for deconcentration. So instead of the 18 residents that we had when we started at this time of quarantine, we now have 11 residents here. 6 residents were able to be well received in our new house, and 1 resident returned to his family. So now we can better accommodate with 1 room for every 2 residents, and this is our attempt to get through this time as best and as healthily as possible.
Olá, meu nome é Natanael. Faz pouco tempo que eu tenho vivido aqui na casa. Estava desempregado e não tinha condições de manter um aluguel. E eu fiquei sabendo que o Crescimento Limpo proporciona a todos que moram aqui para se recolocar na sociedade, tendo um emprego novo. E agora com esse coronavírus, está um pouco difícil sair de casa porque a gente não tem condições de sair para trabalhar, para arrumar emprego no momento. Mas assim que passar essa fase, eu tenho certeza que todos nós conseguiremos atingir o objetivo que nós esperamos. Sair daqui bem, trabalhando e tendo a sua própria independência.
No início desse
In the beginning of this crisis, when E2 began its time of quarantine, we realized that we were entering into a time that would be a sprint and a marathon at the same time. Our sprint would be housing adaptations. This is the house that we were able to set up for deconcentration housing. So, where we had planned to receive ex-residents who are ready to start paying rent, we repurposed to accommodate our 6 most recent residents who had recently come to us as refugees from Venezuela. This made social distancing possible within our houses, allowing us our best shot at prevention while still offering our needed housing services.
Eu sou Bárbara, venezuelana. A diferença que fiz com minha vida. Temos onde começar porque temos techo, temos cama, temos a comida. Aqui é muito diferente. E aqui no Brasil eu conheci mais de Deus e me sinto mais perto dele. E a verdade às vezes não falo muito porque sei que vou chorar. Não quero chorar. Então, por isso, ustedes são como unos ángeles.
Adquirirnos como una familia, darnos el apoyo y sobre todo mucho cariño y amor. Es algo bastante sorprendente. Le agradecemos mucho a esta casa.
One more housing location of Crescimento Limpo. This was our original halfway house, where we first began to receive people to live with us in 2011 when it all began. Now that we have access to a larger home downtown, we use this house to receive residents as a second phase where they can pay a fair rent, and more importantly, we can maintain contact and accompany the development of those that we've served. Joandelis lives here now, who we received as a refugee from Venezuela. And today she has 9 family members living with her that she has been able to bring from Venezuela as well. And in the back, we were in the process, before the coronavirus hit, we were in the process of building a kitchenette where we would receive a young adult who had aged out of Child Protective Services, and we would support this individual's transition to independence. We stopped construction when the pandemic hit until we realized how important isolation was to become as members of our housing services possibly become sick. So now we are completing this small kitchenette in the back so that if we have a resident fall ill, we will have a place to isolate and care for that individual while minimizing contact amongst our residents. These are the resources that we have and that we are trying to use wisely to find our way through this uncertain time. One of our central values at Crescimento Limpo is not to simply work for those that we serve, but rather to work with them. We don't want to hold the position of the powerful, giving to those in need. Instead, we intend to create a new, different circumstance where they have the power. They have what people want. And people come seeking out what our friends are offering. And with this purpose in mind, we created our cafe, which we call the Cafela, to work with our house residents. So here we serve sandwiches, salads, juice, coffee, selling to our community. And the community comes looking for these dishes that our residents make. And that's really important towards the creation of a new identity. That I'm not just a homeless person in recovery, and I'm not just someone in need of what others can give me, but rather, I'm someone capable of offering what other people want. Today, during the coronavirus pandemic, obviously we had to close the Cafela. We've closed our cafe to the public, and we're working really hard to be able to continue offering salaries and care for our workers, some of whom still live at the house, but most of which have moved on and are renting their own homes, leading their own families. we're working hard to ensure that they are not pushed back into homelessness, but rather to endure this time maintaining them so that we can start again on the other side, supporting them to continue as professionals, as people of dignity. And this is one more reason why we need you now more than ever to stand with us.
Boa tarde, meu nome é Ana e eu estou morando na CL faz 5 meses. Eu tive o apoio da CL e trabalho na Cafela, que é o café junto à CL. Estava começando a ter um novo começo e agora com essa modificação do corona está muito diferente, mas a gente tem que ter fé, né, para continuar, que tudo vai passar e vamos recomeçar.
This is the Crescimento Limpo farm, where we produce garden vegetables and raise chicken for farm fresh eggs. We keep the cafela stocked and sell these products to the public. But more importantly, it's here that we create work opportunities for our incoming residents of our halfway house. And we generate a new identity, a new understanding about this new chapter that they're undergoing in their lives. So our residents are met with new life rhythms, a working rhythm that's favorable to their continued growth in this direction. During this time of pandemic, we've used this farm as a place that our residents can come to breathe fresh air, to have new purpose in their days and feel useful. And here we're also reminded that all things are made new, that God's creation is constantly in renewal, which is a really important lesson for these moments, to know that even during this time of coronavirus, and as everything has had to come to a halt, our hope is in a God that continues giving life and continues to renew our hope that there will come a time to return to our lives before Him.
Boa tarde a todos, meu nome é Alexandre, né? Eu sou responsável aqui pelo sítio, né? Onde passam triagens e eu que sou responsável por tudo aqui que acontece aqui no sítio. Pela plantação, pelos bichos, né? E vou falar um pouco o que o Crescimento Limpo fez na minha vida. O Crescimento Limpo na minha vida, ele mudou completamente a minha vida. Mudou tudo. Social, espiritual, né? Financeira e principalmente familiar. Foi onde que eu era um morador de rua, tinha perdido todos os créditos da minha vida, né? E hoje eu resgatei tudo no Crescimento Limpo. Então sou uma pessoa que eu tenho muito a agradecer ao Crescimento Limpo, né? Indico o Crescimento Limpo para muitas pessoas, né? E que tem pessoas que acreditam na gente, né? Porque muitas vezes os familiares da gente não acreditam. E aqui no Crescimento Limpo tem pessoas que acreditam na gente, num ser humano que pode ter uma vida melhor, né? Ser uma pessoa digna. E é isso que eu tenho acrescentado o Crescimento Limpo para mim e o que ele fez na minha vida hoje.
Meu nome é José Milton, faz aproximadamente 2 meses e pouco que eu estou no Crescimento Limpo. Na minha vida, a minha família precisava de me ver aqui fora sóbrio, porque os laços familiares tinham rompido e eles precisavam de uma prova de eu estando aqui fora sóbrio. E Crescimento Limpo tem me dado essa oportunidade de provar para mim mesmo que eu sou capaz e para minha família. Os laços que estavam rompidos hoje, graças a Deus, já estão sendo construídos, a gente já está em contato, a gente já está se relacionando por telefone. Em breve eu estarei fazendo uma visita para eles. Sou grato a Deus por ter essa oportunidade para estar provando e sou grato a Deus e ao Crescimento Limpo por tudo isso.
Então agora você conhece pouco.
Now you have an inside view of Crescimento Limpo. One thing that I understand very well is that this time of pandemic will be hard for all of us. Many of us have lost our jobs, and many are without perspective of where this is taking them. If God has allowed you the grace of still being in a position able to support, please understand the importance of your support, both to us, Crescimento Limpo, but also to your neighbor, who may have lost his or her job, and even to other works in your neighborhood, in your community, or that you're connected to. If you would like to support us, we are thankful. That will be very important to maintaining housing. But above all, I'd like to encourage you to join forces in this moment and to understand that this is a time in which we need to join together in unity before God, to support life, in support of recovery, and to be a part of the movement of renewal that God always brings to critical situations such as these. Thank you for taking this time to learn about Crescimento Limpo, and I ask that you please seek out before God how He would lead you to give of the strengths that you have towards the growth and renewal in the midst of this time that we have to live today. Thank you.
Hoje. Obrigado.